Hello and welcome back to the channel and a brand new video on this vehicle. Now, if you're familiar with this brand of vehicle, you might be able to tell what car it is. But this vehicle, it's cold out here as well. That's why I'm wearing my beanie hat. But yeah, that sides. This car was actually given to me for Christmas, and it's you know, it's a new year now, so it's well into January. I think it's the second week of January, third week of January. The 18th of January, I do believe it is today. And this video may take a while until it comes out, because I don't want to be doing bits and pieces of this video. We want to get it all done in one episode. The whole vehicle, everything that needs to be done. So we have some fault finding on this car. We also have a lot of cleaning to do on it. But also, mainly, I just want to say a big thank you to my cousin Lee. I'll leave a link down below to his Instagram, so you can all go thank him yourself for this car, because he actually gave me this car. Bit of a weird scenario for him. His wife, partner, they found she got a promotion in her job, looking for a new car, and this vehicle wasn't wanted for the Part X, and it was he messaged me in the morning and said it's got to be gone by the evening. Do I want it? I mean, I guess he could have put it on Face Market, that Face Bay thing, Facebook Face Market. I don't know what it is, but he could have put it on there, I guess, and got a couple £100. But again, like, scrap value. But we'll have a look around the car, and I think you will agree with me that this car is a bad man car. It's pretty bad man. I like it. I really do like it. And it's funny because I have owned one of these vehicles in the past. Not one of these. I have bought this brand of vehicle before, but not for a long time, a very long time. Not my first choice of vehicle, but yeah. I do like it. And it's funny because when this vehicle first came out a long time ago, back in 2002, I think it was, me and my partner at the time, we were actually looking at buying one of these brand new, and we didn't go out on a test drive in the end because the dealership in Fareham, Newgate Lane, they said, oh, you can't take it for a test drive, there's a problem with the brakes, which didn't give us much confidence in the car, and we ended up buying a MG ZS. So never mind. Right, so I guess you want to know what vehicle this is, rather than me just chatting gash. And also, you probably want to know, you know, with it being a free car, is there any problems? Maybe, maybe not. We have to go round, we'll have a walk around, we'll have a look. I have already made a start on the vehicle because it has been a few weeks, because I don't know if you saw my last upload on my brother's Zafira, but we've had to get all of that done, and I think it's due for its MOT either today or yesterday. I'm not sure what my brother's doing about that. He's supposed to be, I think he said he was coming round here this morning first thing, but I haven't seen him yet. But yeah, that aside, this car does have a few little problems, and I have been getting on with a few little things. I have filmed it. There's the interior, all the interior has been done now. I've really given everything a lovely, I mean a proper clean, a proper clean. So I'll show you everything that I've done, because it's transformed the inside of the car. It really has. Other little issues, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little bit of condensation on the rear window there. We've got some condensation build up on the front windscreen, so I'm going to have to go through, try and find out why it's so damp. It could be just because when I washed the seats, washed everything, even the carpets, the headlining, maybe it's still a little bit damp and it's taking its time to dry out, because it's been freezing. And I've got one of these stamp out the damp things. It doesn't matter if I drop it, because it's warming up now since I've been in here, but I got in here and it was frozen solid, absolutely frozen. So I think just my body heat, me talking while shaking that around, doesn't help, but I think my body heat alone, just being in here for the last few minutes, has helped warm it up a little bit. But yeah, no, I need to get rid of all the condensation as well. Let's see if it will start up, because I had it a couple of weeks, and after the first week, less than a week, and the battery was completely dead. So I pulled that off. I'll put a little clip in now of the battery. So we did have problems with the battery being completely flat. I have charged it up now, topped it all up with distilled water. Although I say distilled water, it was just boiled water from the kettle that I left to cool down, and then we topped them up, and then obviously I left all of these open, let it vent while it was charging. It's actually charged. It charged yesterday for 8 hours before I turn it off, and then this morning it's been on for another 4.5 hours. So yeah, 12.5 hours, and now that's fully charged. Happy days. So now it's all charged and it's all back in there. That was almost 2 weeks ago when I charged the battery. So now, 2 weeks on, I want to see if it's going to start. But I do have my keys. I say I'm going to start it up, but I don't think there's any fuel in it. I better go get some fuel. I'm going to go get a jerry can out, put a jerry can of fuel in it, and then we will fire her up. And or also reveal what car it is, because you have no idea. I'm full of surprises today. Right, let's get cracking and fill her up with some fuel. Right, so she's all fueled up. You've all guessed by now what car it is, but you still don't know much about the car. It's another little clue. It's a 5-speed. Right, let's turn the ignition. $129,000 on the clock. Look at that, it's been left for nearly 2 weeks, 12 days after charging that battery, and she's fired up straight away. So there we go, it's telling us to refuel because we obviously still need more fuel. I only put in 5 litres. Yeah, it's not registering at all. Going to tell me to refuel, and we're not going to. Not yet anyway. So that's a result. Started up first time. I'm going to leave it to run. You can tell it's a petrol because of the RPMs. Oh, 160 on the clock. I doubt that. Oh yeah, it's just a fuel light flashing, seatbelt light over there, and the handbrake. Excellent. Well, it sounds good. Let's have a look around the car and see if you can spot what the issue is. Also, it has got some modifications. We'll get into all of that later. Leave the car running for a bit. We'll let it get up to temperature, try and defrost, de-mist, get rid of all the dew on the windscreen and on the back. And then while it's warming up, I'm going to go stand over there, have my coffee, because it's a bit warmer over there and secluded, and I won't be producing any condensation in the vehicle with me talking. So let's put the aircon on. I don't know how this works. Let's have a play. Oh, well, that all works. Oh, the temperature outside, yeah, that's right. Is that aircon? We want it just there you go, just windscreen. Want it circulated on the, is that supposed to light up, is it? Oh, that's that one. Oh, the windscreen puts it onto full madness. I presume that is aircon. That's the rear window. Yeah, I don't know about that. We'll have to have a look into that. The recirculating fan, that vent. I don't know what that might be. It might be just the light inside, but I can't hear anything moving when I press that. Maybe I don't know. I may have to look into that. I don't know. It's new to me. Right, I'm going to leave it to warm up for a bit. Make sure everything works. Lovely, lovely. Shut the door. Does it? No, it's just going to keep saying refuel. Does that change, does it? Can I change that? Is that a computer or something? I know we've got controls here. I think these are for cruise control though. Is there a button that we use to change that, or is it just always on that? What happens if we put the radio on? Oh, the radio, oh, it is on. Oh, it's just going off its head. It don't work. It's just telling me to refuel. When the car was dropped off, it did say that there was 29 miles left, and I've just put in another 5 litres, so it should be alright to sit here and warm up and try and demist all of this, and then I'm going to tell you about some of the mods and the problems. So who managed to guess what car it is? Okay, so I'll put you out of your misery. It is a Vauxhall Vectra, and it is the 1.8 SRI. So it's a very nice car, and currently, well, they're popular cars still, even though this is a 2008, so it's coming up to 14 years old, this car. There's no real major issues with it. You know, it's the 140 brake horsepower one. I checked online and it says currently there's only 95 of these registered on the road, taxed, and then I think there's another 590 or so that are on declared SORN. So with it only being 95, 100 of these on the road at the moment, it would be nice to keep this one on the road. Currently it's off the road, it's on the drive, but we'll get that rectified. So the first problem is condensation. So I want to have a look into this little issue of why there is condensation in the car. So it'll probably be a case of taking the seats out, checking, making sure there's no wet patches. Obviously we're gonna have to give it a good clean as well, but you can see there's a fair amount of condensation build up already, so that will need addressing. Another little issue is the rear boot struts, those two gas struts. So the boot doesn't really like staying up on its own. A strong gust of wind and that will come down. And I also have all the amp leads to remove as well, and we can give them back to my cousin so that he can install that into his next build. There's also an annoying fag burn on that door card, so I'm not sure whether it's best to replace that door card or maybe full leather with the door cards. We'll see. There's also the flexi part front section of the exhaust that needs to be replaced. I don't know if you picked it up on that previous video when it was running, but there is a slight blow. It's not major, but that also needs to be rectified. But the main issue is under here, and you've obviously heard it running. It all sounds fine, but the actual issue is the gearbox. I mean, I've got to remove all this wiring, and I've got to remove all the amp leads, but there's a problem within the gearbox somewhere. My cousin, he reckons it's just a bearing in there. He said it's whining and there's some knocking noises and vibrations and juddering. So that is something that needs to be addressed, and that's the main issue with the vehicle. Right, so we've had it running for quite a while now. Everything's nice and clear in here. Cut a little bits, just one little bit there. But yeah, it's been running for a little while. I don't know why the ABS lights come on, but it has. Maybe it's because I've got the front end jacked up at the moment. I went inside, had a coffee and some toast and everything else. But yeah, the problem with this is that there's a gearbox issue. So I've tried to imitate the sound with the gearbox, because I've got the front wheels up in the air without driving it up and down the road and annoying all the neighbours, because it is quite loud. And when I first drove it and moved it, there's a vibration and knocking, and it's quite regular on like the rotations as it's rotating the wheels. It's making this knocking noise, but also thrust bearing when the clutch is in and out. I don't know if you can hear it from in here. Oh, it's warmed up, it's not making a noise now, but when it was cold it was making a little bit of noise, and now it's up in the air. When I put it into a gear, let's go second, when it gets the biting point, that's when you hear, I don't know if you can hear that. Let me open the door and put you down. Yeah, and then as soon as the clutch is dipped again, that noise completely goes away. So I'm wondering whether it's a clutch and thrust bearing issue. That's what I'm thinking. Rather than stripping the whole gearbox down and everything and reconditioning it, I think just have to change the clutch and thrust bearing, and we'll go from there. Actually, let's see if I can put it into gear and walk around there. I don't really want to be doing this. I don't like leaving the car. I know the handbrakes are on and everything else, but doing 10 mile an hour, I don't like it, because the T5's on the drive in front. Right, let's come down here and see if we can see where the sound's coming from. Oh yeah, it sounds like it's coming right here. Sounds like it's right there, right in the middle. That's where the noise is coming from. K&N filter, straight through header, straight through exhaust. I can't remember what make exhaust they are. I'm sure Lee will let you know down in the comments down below. But yeah, you can hear that from back here. I reckon that's what it is, thrust bearing and clutch. Because look, as soon as I put my foot down on the clutch, you ready? silent. Yeah. Yeah, you can hear it straight away as soon as I start lifting the clutch up. The end doesn't like it, does it? I'm gonna have to clear that code. I expect it just doesn't like it because front wheels up in the air and everything else. ABS can't work like that. Hopefully I ain't bugged any sensors up, should be alright. Oh dear, right. Let's order a clutch and flywheel, get that fitted. Long. Well, the first job I want to get on with is I want to try and find the cause of the dampness in the car. So I've removed the rear seat and just feeling my way along here underneath. It's all dry, there's no damp patches anywhere. The carpet's nice and dry. So I went round to the boot and I took everything out from the boot, and as you can see, it's full of water. I'm going to remove the wiring as well in a minute, all of that for his sub. But you can see there's quite a lot of water in there, and I don't know how that water's got in there. It is forecast to rain in the next few days, so I'll clean all this out. We'll leave the wheel out for a few days as well while it rains, and we'll see if any rainwater's getting in, and if it is, we'll then further investigate. But I think this will be the cause of the build-up of condensation in the back. So I'm going to go ahead, dry everything out, clean it all up. Yeah, and I think I'm going to take the front seats out as well, give everything a good clean, because this is what's down the back of the seat, and yeah, it just needs a clean. So let's get cracking and clean it all up. Show you the boot in a moment, but the boot, we've left that, it's all dry in there, nothing's, you know, I left it for a few weeks without the wheel in there while we had all the heavy rain, and there's been no water build up in there at all. The condensation in the car, well, that's all dried up completely now. There's no condensation in here at all, and this little moisture catcher thing, completely dry. I think it has caught some moisture in the balls, that's why they're all frozen and stuck together as one solid mass. So it has collected a little bit of moisture. But yeah, no, there's no, it's totally bone dry in here now. So that's the result. So there's no fixings to do there to find any ingress of water, so that's fine. I think the little fag burn, I'm not going to bother about that for the time being. All the interior, that's not really a massive issue. I mean, it looks really nice and it's clean. It's just a couple of little marks. Well, not marks, just wear and tear, you know, from The bolster here on this side, you know, that's just worn away from in and out, and yeah, just same on the passenger seat. It's the same wear in the same places, and I'm pretty sure that if I got leather seats, they'd be exactly the same. They'd be worn, and you know, the foams would have probably be knackered and need replacing. So, you know, maybe scrap that idea, I think. If anything, because the cloth material's all right. If anything, well, I'll just change that door card with a standard door card, which I could probably get from a scrappy for a couple of quid. I mean, we got Silver Lake just down the road, so I'm pretty sure they'd have something. The other issue, the rear boot with the gas struts. Again, not going to really worry about that too much at the moment. The main thing that I want to get done is that gearbox. The gearbox and clutch. Now, I've looked into it. There's several ways I can do it. I can remove the whole subframe, the steering rack, remove everything, and then remove the gearbox. Or you can just lower the subframe a little bit on one side, drop the gearbox, and then that should give me enough room to get in there, and I might be able to have a look at the clutch, flywheel, and that, what do they call it? Concentric slave cylinder. So maybe it may be so it may be the actual concentric slave cylinder that needs to be replaced, and if I can do that with the gearbox still in the engine, then happy days. But if I can take everything apart and then see if there's any obvious signs, you know, because the bearing on that concentric slave cylinder, that should well, you'll hear it when we take it all apart and look into that. So that's why I'm thinking with the diagnosis that I'm gonna have to break this down into a couple of videos, because I think this one's probably at least 20 minutes long. So, you know, we have we've dragged it out, and if you have made it this far, really appreciate that. So congratulate yourselves by smashing that thumbs up button, and then also comment down below. If you're not on Instagram, it's not a problem, just say thanks down below, come say hello in the comments. Otherwise, follow me on Instagram, follow Lee on Instagram, because we're not sure what's going to happen to this car. I may keep it as a daily, or we may do a competition, so one of you guys may be able to win this car, but we'll see. I'm not too sure yet, because I really like it, and I mean, it's not that I don't want to give it away. Well, I don't want to give it away, but yeah, it's nice. I do like it. Right, I'm going to cut it there, and then we'll come back next time and we'll make a start on the gearbox. Hopefully we can get that out, get everything replaced that needs to be replaced, get the big gearbox back on, because otherwise, if the gearbox needs to be sent off to be reconditioned, then we'll contemplate doing that. Maybe do it myself. We'll see. Money situations, we don't want to be spending too much money on it, do we? We want to do it for cheap, preferably for next to nothing, because it was a free car. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. So take care, stay safe, and God bless.